Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of What's Next After BDS. Today, I have with me Dr. Vinod. He's the Dental Pulse Academy coordinator of the Chennai branch. He's also a periodontist. And, sir, a short intro about yourself, sir.
Yeah, I'm basically Dr. Vinod Kumar. I am an assistant professor in Chengalpet Medical College and Hospital. And I'm also a coordinator of this NEET PG program for people who are aspiring for MDS, the entrance exam. I'm a coordinator of this particular center, Chennai branch of Dental Pulse Academy.
Okay.
So basically what we do is we actually, children enroll to us and we basically prepare them for and guide them for a good exam, whatever they can give during the NEET, or it can be any set, whatever exams which is coming through the year, we actually guide them. And then
Okay.
yeah, we are happy that they have come up in flying colors. That's all.
So at this point, I would like to say one more thing. Like I was third student. The batch after mine, that is, I joined PG in 2016. The NEET was formally introduced in 2017. Until then, it was All India PG exam. So
Yeah.
yes, sir. So, sir, I have been also working as associate professor in a private college, and there are a few questions which these students wanted to ask, and I'll be a mediator, and I'll be asking these questions for them, and I hope the session becomes quite useful for them, sir. Okay, the first thing I would like to ask is like, how is the competition for NEET, and how many months of preparation will an average person require? That is, what students tell me is that I was not very good in academics during my 4 years. So is it okay if I start right now? And how much time will it be required for them to have a shot at the exam?
See, basically, first you have to learn where you are actually. Okay. So every year we find around 20,000 to 25,000 candidates who are appearing for the NEET exam. Fine. So basically, how many government seats we have? How many? What I would say is the affordable seats. Okay. The other group becomes a, what is it? For most of the population, it is an unaffordable category. The deemed universities or the even the aided colleges which come under the, what is it, state universities and all, most of the seats are unaffordable by many people. So the
Correct.
affordable seats, the government seats where you get a good stipend for whatever you're working, and you get a lot of the premium institutions. You can just term it as the premium institutions. There, totally you get around 250 to 300 seats only. Depends on that particular year. Every year
Okay.
some seats gets added. Sometimes some
Okay.
seats get dismissed off also. Okay.
Okay.
So around 250 to 300. Imagine at 25,000 candidates are writing for
Okay.
this particular number of seats. That
Okay.
means around only 1% of the candidates who are writing the exam are going to get the seat in that particular institution.
Correct.
Okay. And less than 1% is going to get the seat what they want. Okay.
Correct.
The seat what they want, I mean, is the subject of their liking or the
Correct.
college of their liking in those government colleges itself. Okay.
Mhm.
Otherwise, when you come to the next level, it is the affordable category. I mean, the, what is it, pretty good higher fees category. So there, when you sort out, you will have the, what is it, premium private institutions. There also, you will have to limit yourself to 1,000 to 1,500 ranks.
Okay.
Okay, then only you will get the seat of your choice in that particular college.
Correct.
In your
Correct.
state, might be in your, some people prefer their state, some people prefer their district. Very few people like to go out and study also. Right?
Okay.
So if you want everything for your choice, you have to stand within the first 250, or if you can afford a seat with a pretty much higher fees, you have to stand between 1,000 to 1,500. Okay, that means hardly 3% to 5% of students are going to get the seat what they want really. Okay, so in that case, imagine 25,000 people and finally 1,000 people are going to get the seat what they want. It is almost, it's a very bad ratio actually. Right? So see the amount of preparation which is needed. Imagine if there are somewhere around 10 seats are there, in that around 5 are going to get selected. 50% selection probability is there. You can be fine actually. You can see the number of candidates, you can just work accordingly, you can put your best and finally get it. But here it is 5% to 1% only will get the seat of their choice. That
Okay,
means
okay.
the amount of work you have to invest. It is not
Okay.
only the year what you are preparing, even the work you had done before, the 4 years before, from your first year to final year BDS, that also matters.
Okay.
Okay, how sincere you were in preparing. You cannot be a student who prepared only the important questions which might come in the university exam,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Most of the people do that actually. They have the past papers, they prepare it accordingly, then they go to the university exam. Mostly 70% questions will come from the past papers. So getting 50% mark is more than enough
Correct.
to pass an exam. So definitely they will get through. Without any arrears, they would have come to this level, right?
Okay.
But when they come to MDS, even the important questions, whatever they studied, that also matters. That is also an additional knowledge. But the untouched papers matter more now. Okay.
Okay.
Untouched papers. I always tell my students, when you see a book, when you see in the side profile of the book, certain lines will be there, dirty lines. Those are the papers which you study. Some fresh lines will be there, untouched lines that will not be dirty at all. Those are the papers which is going to give you which will intend you to put more hard work to make all those papers dirty. That should be your intention while coming to an entrance exam. If you are a person who just prepared the important questions, this is going to be the huge task.
Correct.
Or if you're a person who just read out of your own interest, even though something is not going to come to your university exam and all, with your interest, you touched all the papers, you made all the papers dirty and you came over here.
Okay.
You are at a better position to crack it within a year.
Okay.
Next thing is about the brilliant student, average student, that category. See, whenever I see students, see where you are ranked actually, mostly within your college. If it is a deemed university, within your college only you are ranked. Okay.
Correct.
So we term it as a university, still it is one college of 100 students. That's all.
Correct.
Okay, if it is a state university, somewhere around 10 to 12 colleges. That is around 1,200 people. That's all. That is the maximum ranking. You might be first also, but that is among the 1,000 people. That's all. In a deemed university, among 100 people, you are first. But now you are coming to a level where it is 25,000 candidates. Right?
Correct.
So that itself means that there is nobody called a first ranker or a last ranker here. Whoever comes and invests the time for this 1 year period with us or by themselves, that is also another option. Nothing like only coaching matters. By themselves, some people study, they do well also, right? So those two categories, if they investing time this 1 year, preparing for entrance exam, preparing for university exam was totally different. It is almost around the answer. If you write also, you will get marks, right? You might not be to the point, the answer key, and you might not match also sometimes, but you might come around the answer. You are associate professor now, you would have gone for corrections and all, right? Sometimes you feel the child has the knowledge, but he's not hit on the point, still you give marks, right? Somewhere some understanding was there.
Correct.
But here it is not the case. No human is going to correct your paper. It is all computerized. According to the key only your answer should be.
Correct.
And two answers might be very close. It might be beating around the bush there. But still you will have to select only one, which is the most probable answer. Key. Yeah, key and the most probable answer, or the most, higher research oriented answer. Now that is the problem now. In UG, we prepare kids for the university exam. Finally, when they come to entrance exam, it is like the PG questions come in. The answer with the most higher research value, that becomes the best answer. So investment should be done in this period actually. The
Okay.
1 year hard work is important. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sir. So the next question which they ask is like, now, where do we start? Like most of them, they have books which has MCQs with explanations of various. One is Dental Pearls, the other, there are many other books and many other sources for the MCQs. As far as I have known or I have seen students, one is they go through the MCQs and they just keep solving MCQs and learn. They develop their knowledge from the MCQs. And some people, they say they'll read the theory first and then approach the MCQs. Is there any fixed pattern as to how this has to be done, or is it like any way it can be done as long as it works correctly? Because in my experience, what happened is I started at one subject, then I go to the second subject, when I go to the third subject, I tend to forget the first.
Yeah.
So, and here you have to remember the knowledge and facts about subjects covering 4 years, and it should be in your fingertips if you have to have the edge over the others on the day of the examination. So can you just tell us how a student will be able to proceed with this?
See, basically, as I previously told you, the untouched papers that matter. In every book, the untouched papers matters. The touch papers are somewhere you understood the subject, you have reproduced it also somewhere and got the marks. So you will be at least have the knowledge about it. You might not know the exact lines, the intricacy of the subject, but you will have a basic knowledge about. If I ask you what is the muscles of mastication, you will surely tell, because from first year till your oral surgery or your TMJ disorders, muscles of mastication has just come through, right? Many times you would have revised everything. At least an examiner by the chair side would have asked you a question. What is the important role of masseter? That question would have come to you, right? So these are the things which doesn't need any, revision back from the textbook. Fine. But the untouched papers, if I ask what is the spinothalamic tract connecting this nucleus and that nucleus, that becomes a very big question for a BDA student.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So because that was there only during the first year, and nowhere in the subsequent years it was reinforced.
Correct. Correct.
And sometimes it was on a choice also. They have written first year, they have not reinforced through the years, and suddenly during the entrance exam, such a question comes, means it is totally new for them. Fine.
Absolutely.
So the untouched papers should be touched again. That is one thing. Then the MCQ book. Or if at all, if a person comes and tells to me, sir, you are telling the untouched papers, but that is itself a huge, it is like a mountain for me now. Because I read only the important points, I listened to the class, and then I just got through the university exams. But now this is a different condition. I can't tell him, go and read the entire book and come back. That will take another 2 years for him. Definitely.
Correct.
But the time limit is 12 months. 12 months, he has to know what is intended for an MCQ exam. So basically, I would recommend everybody to have one book as a standard book. Okay, that might be the MCQ book of their choice. Fine. See, what I would like to tell is the maximum a book which has the minimum mistakes. Your choice should be a MCQ book which has the minimum mistakes. Almost all MCQ books will have one mistake or other. Fine. Because the time when they chose that option as an answer might have been very different from now, where the research has changed the answer.
Exactly. You just mentioned that point. Research, as per research, the answer might have changed. Correct.
Change. So definitely every book will have a mistake. Okay, all MCQ books will have a mistake. So choose the book with the minimum mistake. Okay, choose the book. Okay, fine. You have chosen the book. Maybe, for example, as far as we have learned, don't think it is because it's our academy and like Dental Pulse is universally followed by every student all over India. Okay, it is not like this academy, it is not recommended, or that academy, it is not recommended. All academies universally recommend Dental Pulse.
Correct.
Right? So basically, okay, you have chosen the book now. Ultimately, you have one choice. 1 or 2 additional books you can have. Additional MCQ books you can have. Something will be closely related only to the AIMS exam or the INISET exam, what we are the new terminology for AIIMS, as it is
Okay.
comprising many colleges now. Okay.
Okay.
One is
All the
specifically
central
for-
government colleges come under that, right? Also?
Yeah, it
Is
is
it?
like your PGI Chandigarh, AIIMS
JIPMER.
institutions,
Okay.
JIPMER,
Okay.
all
Okay.
these things come under NESET. NEET is
Okay.
for all the other government colleges.
Okay. Okay.
Fine. So both the things, Pulse caters to both, but if at all some people will prefer, let me compare the answers and see. That is the next level of preparation. For a
Okay.
basic level, one book is more than enough. So you have one book, fine. Suddenly you come across, as I mentioned, a spinothalamic tract question. If you just read that line from that Pulse book, that question and answer, it might not be enough for you. Okay, you might forget. You told, right, 1 month I read this book. After 2 months, when I started reading the other books, finally, when I came back to the first book, I totally forgot so many things. It appeared new to me. That is because for that question, we have to know the exact mechanism of arriving at the answer.
Okay.
That is the
Okay.
knowledge behind that question. That has
Okay.
to be taken from the explanation, which is
Okay.
already given at the back of the book, or
Okay.
from the textbook itself. You will have to go through the paragraph or the chapter. That is, you have to do. If at all you want to remember till the exam. Okay, fine. So this is one part. Okay, so basically have a MCQ book, read it. Whenever you find a difficulty, go back to your textbook. That will be the final answer for this particular question. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that was quite actually informative about. And how important is revisions? Like you need to constantly keep revising all and everything, right? Because there's a lot of content to remember. So how many revisions or how many times do you think you have to solve a book with the explanation? Like you have to know the explanations also, right? So how many times or basically I'm asking how many revisions are required for a good preparation?
Okay, fine. See here, another point we actually have to discuss is, it is like whenever you're going through the same question once and you went to your book and studied that particular chapter and came back to the next question. But for this question, you studied some extra material, right, from your textbook. From there, if you feel this is of some MCQ value, you have to write it in the book with a pen. You have to write it and keep those points in that place itself, so that you will remember anytime I read from the book and I got these points. That is a relative memory. What will be like, I did some act for that particular question, so I remember the question better. You have to write and keep all the points related to it, so that whenever for your exam, when you go for the exam, it is one book you will have to study. One Pulse, maybe now it's 3 volumes, but it's that particular 3 books, that's all. Over. Whatever you read through the year has to get incorporated into this book. That is more important. Okay. Okay, that is one part actually. Okay, how much I have to revise? Maybe the first time when you're finishing this 3 volumes of Pulse, definitely it will take 6 months. 6 months time is surely necessary. Okay.
6 months?
Plus you're adding points.
6 months is like when you spend at least 6 to 8 hours per day, right?
Definitely. Not 1 hour a day, or whenever I get time, I just open the book. You should be a full time, like office goer. You should be 9 to 5 means you have to be with the book only. Or if you can spend more hours, it is fine actually. Whenever you spend more hours, you are, what to say, you are running before somebody actually. You are just running ahead of somebody when you're spending more hours of studying. That's all. It's a competitive exam, right? All are running. You run for a longer time in the day. That's all. You are moving ahead. Simple it is. Okay, fine. Then it is 6 to 8 hours a day for 6 months you are studying. But the next revision, the revision should not take so much time. So when you're coming to the revision, the 6 months should be crammed to 3 to 4 months. Within that, you should be able to revise because you've already studied recently. You should have that confidence. Fine. The next revision should just be half, 2 months. That's all. Fine. The next revision should happen within a month. So you should be so fast in revising because most of the things you should know. At least 4 to 5 revisions if you do before the exam, you are sure to get a very good seat of your choice if other factors favor you.
Okay.
I'm again
So,
telling other factors.
Other factors prevail. Okay.
Yeah.
So considering 4 to 5 revisions, right? Which you said you were where you not including the other factors. There are, so you said about 25,000 students write every year, right? So not all the 25,000 students would have done 4 to 5 revisions. Correct.
Definitely. Yeah.
So how many do you think would have undergone the rigorous training to ensure they are prepared for the exam? So out of the 25, it's just knowledge which I want to share to tell that even though the number of students writing is so much, the actual competition is only between these people. Just to get that.
See, I mean, see, mostly people will be around in this category of 25,000 students. Around 4,000 students will be interns only. 3,000 to 4,000 students will be interns. Internship, how much they are studying, that matters. Many people will have other activities in internship. They won't be able to study. The college might be very busy. It might be a government college which is very busy, or that might be a lot of extracurricular activities in the college which keeps them busy. So sometimes people prefer to go to clinics and work as assistant during this time. That keeps them busy. So internship is a period where people concentrate less on studying, more on other activities. Okay, there will be surely a batch trip, batch movie, all these things will be there. So they have to cater to all these things because they are going to leave their friends and come out in that year. That is the last year they are meeting their friends. So definitely it is going to be a tough time for them during preparation during internship. In that also at least 10% students sit and study. Okay, so from interns out of 3,000 or 4,000, minimum 300 interns will be there who are studying properly. Okay, I'm talking about all over India. Okay, fine. Then the next group is post-internship group who have their degree certificate in hand. That is the rest, total 22,000 people or 21,000 people. In that, definitely some people would have settled with the clinic, marriage, all those things will be there. In that, you just cut off 70% off. Okay. Balance will be around 3,000 to 4,000 people only. So you will be competing approximately around 5,000, maximum 5,000. Okay. So out of this 5,000 also, how many people study 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day? That also matters actually. Even imagine we will take the people who are studying for 10 hours a day, particular day, 10 hours totally dedicated preparation also. In that also, how many people have studied their BDs properly? With the background knowledge is very good. Then they have come to this preparatory time. How many people got a very good guidance in their place? Some districts and all, there is no coaching centers at all. There is nobody to guide them actually. Okay, some states and all, it is very difficult actually for them. So how many got a good, knowledge and guidance there? That matters. How many people are good in English? Nowadays, questions come with so tough English that if you miss a single letter or a word, that might change the entire scenario, right? So that matters actually. And finally, the basic sciences. If you are certain colleges equip the students very well with basic sciences. Certain colleges, they just tell you are just a dentist, you don't need this much. You just study this much, it is enough. But finally, when we see the MBBS question and the BDS question remains the same during entrance exam. Sometimes their question is just taken and put over here. Those, the people who are setting the question doesn't even consider it as a BDS candidate or MBBS candidate. Right? So finally, we land up with all the specialty-oriented questions in the basic sciences. So that also matters, how good you are with your basic sciences. These 4 factors, I told no, all the other factors matter.
Correct.
How much you have guidance, how much you have good knowledge in basic sciences, how much hours you are preparing, all these things also matters when you come in. So basically, when you see with all these factors put together, around 1,500 to 2,000 students are your actual competition.
Wow.
Still, you have only 10% seats for you. From 1%, you are a very good person who are preparing whole time with every, guidance, knowledge, everything. Still, you have only 10% of hope that you will get a seat. So, in the 2,000 students, you have to run, keep running. When somebody is what is it? When you are going to sleep, you should always remember somebody is studying the topic.
Preparing. Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, that
Somebody
I
is
used to do
just
that.
putting their effort.
Correct.
That's
That
what.
is quite natural and it's the truth actually. So two more questions. One question I just wanted to know, how is the exam? I know the MCQ. How many questions are there, and is there negative marking? When I used to write, there was negative marking. So how is the scenario now?
It's almost the same, but the number of questions have increased.
Okay.
Okay. So now, previously, you people had 200 questions.
Okay.
Okay. Each one had 4 marks and -1 mark negative was there.
Yeah.
And now it is 240 questions.
Okay.
240 questions, again 4 marks only for each and every right response. For
Okay.
a wrong response, it is -1. For no response, it is 0.
Oh.
Okay. It is not
Yeah,
calculated.
that's it.
That's all. Okay. So
So
a
that's the
negative
same 3 hours.
response,
But you have to do it in the same.
yeah, same 3 hours. The
Okay.
question is lengthier now.
Oh, okay. So you,
Okay. So it is becoming more of a, you have to practice.
correct.
That is more
Correct.
important now. You have to practice maximum number of exams. Then
Okay.
only you will be able to go through the paper at least and finish it off. If you
Okay.
don't have a practice, you might get stuck up in the 200th question itself.
Okay.
Another 40 questions which you might know, you wouldn't have read in the exam time itself. Okay. So the pattern is quite different, and pattern is more of NBDE type now. It is
Oh,
not
okay.
that memory-based questions and all. They don't have it as a single subject question. They ask, a person is suffering from hypertension, he is taking this drug. Suddenly he developed a shock, he has to get administered with this drug. What might be the interaction? So you should know
Scenario-based
what is
questions, right?
hypertension, you should know what is a shock, you should know what is that drug, or you should know what the drug B is, then you should come and arrive at the answer. Okay,
Scenario-based
now they have
questions.
scenario-based questions.
Okay. Okay.
Or they
Okay.
give one scenario, they ask 5 questions from that scenario.
Oh, nice. Sounds interesting, but it's definitely
Okay.
going to be tough when
So
you
it
write
has
the
become
exam.
more complicated now. Yeah.
One last question, which I have seen, this is the trend for the past 10 years. Actually, after my 12th, I took a year off. I went to Delhi when there was Akash Institute at that point of time,
Okay.
and wanted to prepare, and then I narrowly missed out. So I got MBBS in third counseling in Ramchandra, so I joined there. So, but if whenever I go to the north or even the southern states such as Kerala and Karnataka, right, the people don't hesitate to take a year off to get a seat there. But when you discuss the same trend in our state, Tamil Nadu, there is some kind of resistance or hesitation due to various reasons. Some say finance, like they need to start earning for their family. Some say they're getting old. Like obviously the age becomes a factor here. But do you think is there actual factor like why only our state thinks twice before, taking a year off or, spending exclusively when they know then they have a better chance when they take a year off, but a better chance at NEET? This is a question is
See,
exclusively for
this
the.
is basically not the hesitancy or the problem of the students or the calculation of the students. It is all the parents who decide. Okay.
Okay.
Parents never want their child to be at least 1 year, have a break of 1 year. They feel that their child is 1 year slower compared to other children of their own batch.
Okay. Surprisingly, this trend is there only in Tamil Nadu. That is why I was wondering, right?
Yeah, our parents are like that. That's all we can say. They don't want their children to just take a year off. See, it is like in Tamil Nadu, what I feel is it is a more developed state compared to other states that is there. And it is almost an educational hub. Fine. That is because your parents, my parents, everybody felt education is the only source to earn a living, right? It is not a business or anything. Even for a business also, education is the main source. That is what is the greatest feeling of Tamil Nadu parents. So in that main education itself, if you drop 1 year, you might be preparing for that year for a better thing only. But still they feel that, no, you should do something. Follow your career. Even they might be like, they might take a loan and put you in the college what you want. Or they might support you in different ways, but they will not allow you to take a break. It is not the student's perspective. It is the parents' perspective.
Parents' perspective. Yes.
Yeah.
So if some parents are watching, understand it's okay to take a year off because the competition is such, and in a year probably you can get a better college with the field of their choice or something like that.
Right.
Thank you so much, sir. Before I would like to conclude, you have been having an academy for the past at least 5-6 years, as far as I know. So
7.
just a 2-minute motivation to someone who's watching this video, like whether they are capable of taking the NEET or not. They said, because when I spoke to a few students, they said that I'm not sure if I'll be able to crack the NEET is the first response which comes. So what would you like to tell? What would you like to tell them?
See, one basic fact is whenever you are going to write an exam, there is going to be a 1-year preparer, there is going to be a 3 months preparer, there is going to be a 3 years, a person who is preparing for 3 years or 5 years. So many kind of people are going to be there. So if you think about the competition, you will never get the confidence. Okay. If you're an intern or if you just started, see, always have in mind, basically you have acquired some knowledge somewhere through your college or through your friends or through your joint study or through an academy somewhere actually. So with that knowledge, what you can do, that is what you have to see. Next thing is, have in mind, hard work can only pay. If your hard work is there, don't think that I might not get a seat. It is like, I will put effort this time and I will put a complete effort. Complete means sometimes you will have to sacrifice so many things for that. You might not go for a wedding. You might not go for a party. You might not go for a trip. But that time you would have spent for studying actually. So that matters. Next thing, while preparing, have the continuity in the preparation. See, our mind is made in such a way that when it is doing a job continuously, it gains speed. You might have, when you start a book, you might have one, you might take 3 hours to finish a paper, one side of a page. But when you just go on reading the book, in 3 hours, you might complete 10 pages also at one point of time. So your concentration develops as you continue one same work for a longer time. So have in mind, have a preparation which is continuous and without breaks. Without breaks means sometimes if you take 1 day break, that itself spoils your speed.
Absolutely.
So your hard work, your persistent work, and your wanting to know more. Always have in mind, even though you are a topper getting 75% distinction in your college time, still you have a lot of things uncovered. Lot of things need to be discovered by you. Lot of pages are not yet dirty. Again, I'm stressing on the same point. Okay. So you have to do, and you have to be open so that you can learn more. Whatever you have learned more, that might be some 2-3 questions from that zone. 2-3 questions means 12 marks. 12 marks means you might be 1,000 candidates above you. In the 12 marks. That is there. So hard work, persistence, and just a mindset to wanting to know more. That just that matters. Nothing like, you don't have to come as a predetermined person. I didn't do my basics very well. I have not done my undergraduation properly. Suddenly, how will I get transformed into a good ranker? Most of the average students who have got these 3 qualities have succeeded in the first attempt. And mostly, from our academy, it is always like the person who just completes internship gets the seat.
Correct.
Not like other places where 3 years, 2 years they prepare, then only they get the seat. Usually during the internship itself, they will reserve a seat. Some people just do after the exam also they do the internship. Right. But it is first timers, they have the best chance because 8 subjects just now they finished in final year. Right. They wouldn't have forgotten so much like a person who is preparing for the 2nd year or 3rd year. That's what I always tell. You have just finished final year and it was a stressful exam, right? So you would have put a lot of effort in it.
Correct.
So
we had about
8
subjects. 8 subjects.
8 subjects. If you can carry that knowledge and add the basics to this one particular year and put a consistent effort, surely the seat will be waiting for you. That's one.
Thank you so much, sir. Just would like to add one point. Actually, when you told about hard work and consistency, right? The environment matters a lot, actually. I used to go to the library. I couldn't study at home because either I would sleep off or suddenly somebody used to come home, used to go. So the library was one such place where even
Yeah,
you take
MGR University.
NJ University, correct. Even you take a 5-minute break and you lift your head up, you see somebody else is studying. It gives you a
Studying.
moment of fear and you start studying. The environment makes a
Yeah,
huge difference.
Definitely.
So make sure you are put yourself in an environment where you constantly have fear of getting a good rank. A fear, just not a major fear, a fear that you have to do well. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you
Right.
so much. Wonderful speaking to you, sir. I hope students have a good knowledge. And once again, sir, thank you, Vinod, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you. Thank you. Great day.
Yes, sir.
Bye.
Bye.